And I give the floor to the distinguished representative of Pakistan for her statement. Pakistan.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we thank you for the comprehensive briefing. We fully support your progressive, development-oriented agenda to eradicate poverty, hunger, and enhance opportunities for quality education for all. This is in consonance with our own national priorities. Mr. President, as we approach the 75th anniversary of the United Nations, the world order established on the basis of the fundamental principles of the Charter is rapidly eroding today. We are witnessing a growing revival of great power rivalry, a renewed arms race, and a lack of trust in the institutions of global governance, including the United Nations. You have yourself spoken of the imperative to stem this growing tide of cynicism and apathy. Mr. President, if this trend is to be reversed, all member states of the United Nations must live up to the principles and purposes of the UN Charter, based on sovereign equality of states, peaceful settlement of disputes, and respect for fundamental rights, including the right of self-determination. These fundamental rights continue to be denied across the world in flagrant violation of UN resolutions. Entire populations remain encaged in open-air prisons. Resort to unilateral force and external intervention is becoming ever more frequent. Foreign occupation is often tolerated. Mr. President, despite the war on terror, terrorism has spread to all parts of the world. We must attack terrorism comprehensively, addressing the symptoms, but also the underlying causes. We look forward to the review of the counter-terrorism strategy. Besides peace and security, our first priority is development. We are not on track to achieve the SDGs. We have declared a decade of action, but we are not clear what such action should be. On the contrary, the world trade and financial system is under threat of collapse from the weight of trade and technology wars. Critically, we need to find ways to mobilize the financing required to achieve the SDGs. Mr. President, climate change poses another existential threat to our planet and to global development and peace. We must develop the mechanisms to ensure implementation of the commitments and goals of the Paris Agreements in accordance with the principle of common and differentiated responsibility. To realize these objectives, we must make progress at this session to revive the central role of the General Assembly, reform the Security Council to make it more representative, equitable, and responsible to the entire UN membership, and to activate the full potential of the Economic and Social Council as the central coordinating mechanism of the global economic system. Mr. President, Pakistan will participate and cooperate actively with you to advance these objectives at this session and in preparation for the 75th anniversary session of the United Nations. Thank you, sir.
I thank the distinguished representative of Pakistan for his statement.